Here's the thing, guys. When it comes to bug out situations, I got a lot of different ideas in my head and a lot of different options to make it happen. 2 one wheels, 1 scooter, 5 e-bikes, and then 3 regular bikes that don't have motors in them. Lots of different options to make different things happen. So when a company reaches out to me and they say, hey, we've seen other videos you've done about, e-bikes that might make the cut in regards to being a bug out vehicle, we want to send you one. What do you think about that? And then I usually check out the specs, see would it be worthy. Biggest thing I'm worried about is the watts of the motor and the volts and the amps of the battery. How many watt hours can we get in the battery? So when I get this thing from TST, specifically their R002 e-bike, it really has me interested. This thing here it doesn't have like the most impressive look compared to some of my e-bikes. This one here's a moped style bike. It does have up to a 1500 watt output motor. And I'm gonna tell you the things I don't like about it. But before I tell you the things I don't like about it, full disclosure, TST sent this out to me. They're not paying me for this video. They don't get to see this video before I put it out. They're seeing it with you guys for the first time, just like everybody else. But I'm 6'2", 230 pounds. I'm wearing a bag that has about 18 pounds of gear in it. This is how I would normally test out a bike. They have on their website suggested rider height 5'2" to 6'4". That's if you don't intend to pedal. If you're gonna pedal this bike, this is not for riders over 6 feet tall. It's very uncomfortable. So I don't do much pedaling on this bike. It's my first negative. Second negative, out the box, this thing is in class 2 mode, meaning it can go no faster than 20 miles an hour. On their website, it says it can go up to 32 miles an hour. You can only unlock that one of 2 ways. Download the app, which is iOS only, which also you don't know until you until you get into the specs, or do some weird button combination when you turn the bike on, which I had to research myself to figure out. Not a big fan of that. Okay, so that's some things I'll think about. Next, love the moped style seats, pretty comfortable. They could have made it a little bit shorter, gave me some storage up here, similar to this Mac Fox bike behind me. Moped style is a little bit shorter. I have an option to buy their storage from their website. Something to think about. The actual cable management is pretty trash. All this cabling right here, they definitely could have gave me some type of wire securement system. I don't think it's ever going to be an issue, but aesthetically I think it looks like crap. Also, these common e-bike style lights, I have one on my hay bike. I mean, I get it, you're trying to keep the cost down of the bike, but it is what it is. I think it could have been better. I also don't like the fact that the throttle is on the left side. I own 5 e-bikes. This is the first one I got where I have to use my left hand to throttle the bike forward. It is a first world problem. You will get used to it. If you're wrong-handed, you're gonna love it. If you are right-handed, it's going to feel very, very weird. Next, the kickstand is very far up for an e-bike. So when you go backwards, of course, the pedals move backwards, but it almost feels like you could break the kickstand easily, okay? For this to have front and rear shocks, I kind of wish that the actual, it kind of promotes you using this on trails. If they're gonna be on trails, I wish the actual handlebars were a little bit closer together so that you can get in between trees and you're going down narrow trails. It's almost a little bit too wide. I would have rather you just gave me front shocks, dropped the rear shocks, made it wider, and made it more moped style, motorcycle style. Would have been pretty dope. I like the screen, nice OLED screen. I would actually would have preferred an LCD because in full sun like this, you can't see the screen. This bike here, both of these bikes have LCD screens. I can see those when I'm in full sun. There's something to think about. Now, it is a 20 by 4 inch tire. A lot of bikes are doing that. A lot of companies are doing that. Aesthetically, I kind of like what Mac Fox is doing. 20 by 4.5 in the front, 20 by 5 in the back. I think that looks pretty dope. Those are my gripes, moans, and complaints. Let's talk about the things I like about it. MSRP, this thing is $2,000, grossly overpriced. I think that's just what they listed, because when you see it's listed at $899, and you're getting, this is the plus model, so you're getting a 45 amp hour battery at 48 volts. So I'm not a mathematician, but I think you're getting a 2 kilowatt battery on an e-bike. They say this thing go up to 100 miles. I'm not about to maximize and ride this thing as far as it can, because I don't know if that's going to really give you guys I've taken it about 22 miles at most, came back, had plenty of battery left. But when you have a brand new battery on anything, whether it's one of these one wheels right here, a scooter, a bike, of course they're going to perform great. You know, how's the battery degradation going to be? I have a e-bike that I've had. This one here I've had for 2 years, and the battery's probably, it's actually 54 volts, and it has about the same size battery, and I can't go as far. So, you know, of course they degrade over time, but a humongous battery on this thing, that does put this over $1,000. If you get the 25 amp hour battery, it says it can go about 65 miles, and that puts it at $899, at least as I saw it on their website. There is an affiliate link down below, so you can help the channel out. If you decide to buy something like this and you're under 6 feet tall, and then go for it. Use that link down below. I can get you at least $100 off that as well. So some things that I think is pretty dope about it. Now, there are other things that I could take or leave or miss. It came with a front fender. I took that off. The rear fender's still on. I just haven't gone through the headache of actually removing it or whatnot. I had to adjust the calibers when I actually got this thing out the box. It was extremely noisy when it came to the brake pads, those disc brakes hitting the actual rotors and the calibers moving around. It was very, very noisy out the box. I'll take you guys on a ride just to see what it sounds like, but it's pretty dope. I kind of also wish there was a little bit more handlebar right here, because when you have these type of e-bikes, if you're riding an e-bike for longer than 20 miles, you 100% are going to want a phone mount. You may want to add a bike light. There's enough room to add an additional light on here, but there's barely any room on here to put a phone mount on here. And the fact that the monitor is the screen is in the middle makes it so it's almost, you can't do it. I probably could loosen it and move it to the left or the right. I'm just showing you what this looks like out of factory. So if it was over here, it would have been a lot better. That would have been pretty dope. Doesn't come with a bell or a horn. If you're on a trail, you're gonna have to use your voice. So you should use your voice anyway, but I am used to having the ability to alert people I'm coming with my with the bell. And so TST Group LLC is the name of the company. I don't know if they're a part of TST Group, the motorcycle accessory company, who's been around for almost 2 decades. If they are part of that, then that's pretty dope. This company was established in 2017. They started making e-bikes in 2021. They're made in China. So I tell you all this to say the warranty process, customer support, I don't know how that's going to be. Your mileage may vary. The Mac Fox has been around for a long time. They have great customer support. Hey Bike has been around for a long time. Ride Up has been around for a long time. A lot of the competitors, you know, they sell these things in stores. You can get a lot of support. I've never heard this company till they reached out to me. This bike is going to be in class 2 mode only because this is going to be for my daughter, and I don't want her going more than 20 miles an hour. But it can go up to 32 miles an hour. So I'll kind of show what all that looks like here in a second. So a lot of bells and whistles on this bad boy. It's not a ton else to kind of know about it, other than the fact that it does have full turn radius. It's pretty easy to just get on, get out there, ride. Could you, if you're thinking about using this for a bug out situation or a get home situation, I don't know why the hell you would keep this in maybe you have a truck and you're gonna keep it with you at all times. This is gonna have more range than both of those bikes, and it costs less. My Mac Fox, I have a Mac Fox X2, a Mac Fox X1S, dope bikes. That only has a 25 amp hour battery at 48 volts. Can't go as far as this one, less than 1 kilowatt. So, I mean, it's alluring because of the raw specs of the bike. My last complaint and my biggest complaint is the process of putting this thing together. It is a straight BI putting this thing together. The Mac Fox, when I got that out, This bad boy here, of course, the rear wheel is always attached on these things because they have motors on them. But the actual assembly of this was pretty simple. It probably took me less than 20 minutes. This one took me nearly an hour. So a lot of things you got to put together, a lot of things you got to do. It took me nearly an hour. The seat was not attached. Of course, none of these bikes come with the front wheel attached, but that was not that hard to do. But attaching the seat would have been a bitch if I didn't have a bunch of other tools. The tools that come in the box are laughable. They get the job done, but they are not. Just go ahead and make sure you got you a socket set. Make sure you got you a, maybe even have yourself an extended Allen key set, some extended Phillips and all that type of stuff, because I think it'd be helpful as well. But if you've never put together an e-bike, then you don't have anything to relate it to. But just know you got to set aside some time. The grips are not as good as some of their competitors, especially when you're promoting this with front and rear shocks. Of course, front and rear shocks makes it more comfortable jumping off of curves, light trails and stuff like that. But if you give me front and rear shocks, give me more contoured grips that kind of dig into my hand a little bit better. That would be pretty dope. $8.99 though is just such a freaking phenomenal price. Like, the price on this, although it's a mixture of plastics and metals, the price on this is so interesting. And what makes it more interesting is the amount of torque on this bike, okay? This bike has an insane amount of torque to the point where it doesn't matter if you don't want to, if you're not used to this specific e-bike, it's gonna rip away from you. You're gonna bust a wheelie at this. You gotta be used to it. And that could be beneficial for, I mean, look at, it wants to do a wheelie without me forcing it to do a wheelie. Why does torque matter? The bigger you are, the easier it's going to be to get this thing going. Another reason that torque really matters is when you're going up hills. Up hills in e-bikes can be a bitch if they don't have a lot of torque. So that makes life a little bit easier. If you're carrying more weight, that would be pretty dope. Now, I think they should have sent this with the moped riser. I think they sell moped risers on their website. They sell accessory trays on their website, front baskets on their website. I think if you're gonna send this, guys, to reviewers, you should probably find out how tall the reviewer is and then show the capabilities of the bike for somebody who would be like, you know what, I'm about his height, or I have about as much gear as he has. Could I make it work? So the front basket, I think, looks a little goofy on their website, but maybe you should have sent this so you could show the capabilities. The rear rack, I think that looked pretty dope. Send it so you can see those full accessories. But let me actually take you guys on a ride. When we come back, I'll show you how to put this thing into full 32-mile-an-hour mode, because it doesn't come out the box that way, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, so it's probably dang near impossible to see, but we are rocking this bad boy in pedal assist 5. We're gonna see what we can do with this, which should get me 32 miles an hour. At a minimum 28 miles an hour, so we'll see what it does. Handling, it does feel pretty good. It's a pretty nice rider. So I don't normally pedal on this bike because of how tall I am. It just is not very conducive. So you see we're rocking at, well, it says kilometers. I gotta change that. But 40 kilometers, 43 kilometers per hour. One thing about the app is that as long as you are within connection of the bike, you can change the settings of the bike. So I want to take this bike and I'm going to connect to the bike. And now I would just make sure, because I don't know why it went into kilometers per hour, but I can go into unit of measures, change this to miles per hour, confirm. All right, so now we're in miles per hour. We go back. Now let's see if we can get this thing to go to, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, because the screen, like I say, it is difficult to see. Let's see, 22 miles an hour, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28. So we're at 28 miles an hour. Ripping and roaring. So it does have pretty good brakes. I'll show you what these brakes are like right now. All right, so we approach this stop sign and we'll go a hard stop. pretty good stopping power on this bad boy. Just to kind of show you, I've gotten used to the bike. I kind of understand how to control it and get it to where I want it to do. The bike itself is an easy cruiser, okay? It did take a while to get used to the throttle being on the left-hand side of the bike. That actually took me a little while to get used to. But this thing does have a lot of little power to it, okay? The shifter I've kept in 3. I mean, I could go down and try to shift, and it does shift just fine. All those controls work just fine. Let's bring it all the way down to, let's bring it up to 6 on the shifter and see am I ghost pedaling? At what point am I ghost pedaling? So at this point, I'm what's called ghost pedaling, which is, it doesn't matter if I pedal. There's no way my feet can keep up with 28 miles an hour, 32 miles an hour, stuff like that. So you can mess around with the different controls here. It feels really good. This is what I would say is the perfect bike if you don't always want to take your vehicle to different, you know, if you got to go to the store, you're going to the gym, stuff like that. Maybe you take this, especially if you can rip this thing up. You know, we're at 26, 27. We got a stop sign. Good stopping power. All right, so let's go back into the controls here and see what happens if I take this to pedal controls 3 and I move this to 0, or yeah. So if I take it to 0, what does that get me? I think 0 is what puts it in kilometers per hour. No, it doesn't. All right, so now I'm in 0. So I'm in P3, whatever the hell that means. And it's at 0. Let's see, does it take me to 28 miles an hour, or is it anything different? Now this is where the owner's manual doesn't give you this information. I didn't see it, I had to really look deep. Okay, so when I put it in 0, that puts me in class 2 mode. So I'm in class 2 mode, 20 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour, so that's the maximum amount. All right, so that is the TST R002 Plus e-bike that might be a good budget bug out bike for you guys. Okay, I will say this is a fun little bike. For me, it's a pass because I'm 6'2". It's not a very comfortable ride. I do like to pedal my e-bikes every now and again, so it would not work out for me. But if you are shorter than 5'10", then I think this could be doable for you. This will be a go for my teenagers, for my 10-year-old, because I can control this and keep it at 20 miles an hour, give them some safety gear. I feel totally comfortable letting them ride this. It does have a lot of torque. My 10-year-old is already used to that torque. She's only ridden this in class 2 mode. But if you looking for something, you're not trying to spend over $1,000, I think it's a banger. I think this could be an easy recommendation for you guys. So for me personally, I like the moped styling of it. If they could just give me a little bit more risers out of it and a little bit different, then I would be ready to go. Comment down below, what do you think of this bad boy? First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.